Hey guys, my beautiful viewers, how are you guys doing? Are you guys having a wonderful afternoon? Now, let me turn on my iPad so it doesn't reflect on my microphone thing here. But I hope you guys are having a great morning. Actually, it's 10:30. Today's date is August 10:30 a.m. Today's date is August 20th, 2026. And the reason, folks, why I'm doing this video, I did a shorter version of this video where I posted on Facebook, a couple of my social media pages, X, Instagram. And if you are not following my Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, or X, please go and follow it. My YouTube channel is Mixmaster Excel, spelled just like it pronounced Mixmasterxl. One word. So go and follow my pages. Now, anyway, I did promise that I'm going to do a longer version of this because, first and foremost, guys, the reason why I'm doing this video, I just want to let you know. They are now coming out with information about the grid. The U.S. grid is basically, in the nice way possible, is going to have some serious problems. And the average person is not going to be able to deal with this situation. And they're warning people as nice as possible so that when it happened, they're not freaking out or losing their minds. But I'm going to, this is a long video I'm doing, by the way. The short video, as I said before, it's on my all of my social media pages, Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it, TikTok. Now, according to John Wellenhoff, he's basically the head of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, also tied to the Federal Reserve. Now, he's basically saying the U.S. is at risk of a nationwide blackout that could last 18 months. Now, 18 months is a soft number. The possibility of going longer is there. Now, listen up carefully. This is the long version, so I'm going to explain everything carefully. These transformers that are used on the grid here in the U.S. are not built in the U.S. They're built in China. And if one of them go out, it will actually take a period of 18 months for them to actually build another one, and so they can get it up. So that's why this gentleman, John, is saying when the grid go down. This is no longer if, folks. And he's saying when it goes down, it's going to take around 18 months before everything can actually go back up. But by then, what kind of civilization will have? Will be there? Not much. There's not going to be a lot of people. And the reason why I know this is because there's a book out there. If you can get your hands on it, please do. I have it. It's called Grid Down, Death of a Nation. It was written basically by Homeland Security, and that was written back in 2011, where they're actually warning people, letting people know it's not if this will happen, it's just a matter of when, and we're going to let you know the scenarios and the studies we have put in this field, and they have spent millions of dollars for this, by the way. And one thing I know about government, they don't spend money just to spend money. So they kind of laid out on the table, letting people know, okay, first of all, the first one to die off are going to be the folks in the hospital. That's in the book. So folks in the hospital, gone within a matter of weeks. I would say a week or two. Because first of all, generators need gasoline. If you have no electricity, no grid, you cannot pump the gasoline, because to pump out gasoline, you need that. So electric cars is not going to be able to run. Gasoline cars are not going to be able to run. Actually, the best way you're going to be able to get around is on a bicycle or your legs at that point. So they're now coming out publicly, letting people know we're having a serious situation here. And what's happening right now, there's a few places in the U.S. that's without electricity. And it just happened that when this is going on with few areas without electricity, they're actually coming out, letting people know the grid is about to go down, folks. And people need to start making proper preparation when basically that happened. Now, the first thing people need to do is you got to have a bug out bag. Now, the reason for a bug out bag, guys, especially for the folks in the city, if you're in the rural area when you're not around a lot of people, it take you maybe 20-30 minutes to get to your next neighbor. You really don't need one, because you're completely away you're isolated from everybody else. And to me, in my head, that's a safe zone. So people that are living in those type of area, extremely rural and away from everybody else, you really don't need a bugout bag. I'm just being honest. Just make sure that you're stacking up on food, have enough water, and so forth. And chances are, people like that really don't need to stack up on food because, I mean, there's wild game out there on the land. Wild boar, deer, birds. I know people that tell me that they eat squirrels, raccoon. I've never had squirrels. I've never had raccoon. I've ate rabbit. I've ate deer. What else? I've tried wild boar a long time ago. It's actually pretty good. And yeah, so that's about it for me. But I've met people who have actually eaten other things. I've met people who eat snake, told me snakes are actually good. Never tried it. But I met people who eat these things and said, it's good. Anyway, you're going to need 3 for your bug out bag. It's going to apply for the people that live in the city, living around people, basically, subdivision, major cities, and so forth. Again, I apologize for that noise, for the smoke alarm. It's at a section where I need a ladder and I can't get to it. So making my videos for the next couple of days, that's going to happen. And I do apologize. I know you probably hear dick in the video. I apologize. I can't get to it. I don't have a ladder. Anyway, it's going to apply for people that are around people, the bug out bag, living, as I said before, around subdivision, city, and so forth. And in the bug out bag, these are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need 3 types of clothing. You're going to need wet, cold, and warm, preferably earth colors. Listen up. You're going to need 1 set of clothing in case it rains, 1 set of clothing in case it's cold, 1 set of clothing in case it's warm. Earth colors, meaning colors that actually blend with your environment. You don't want to pick blue. You don't want to pick red. You don't want to pick orange. You don't want to pick these colors. You want to pick stuff like black, brown, green, maybe beige a little bit, but colors that blend well with your environment so it's not hard to see somebody. Get my point? I hope that makes sense. You're going to need 3 sets of each of these clothing. So wet, you're gonna need 3 sets of that clothing. Cold, you're gonna need 3 sets. Warm, you're gonna need 3 sets. Again, earth colors. And every single person in your home should have a bug out bag. Every single person. And guys, make sure that your family, they're aware of what you're doing. Because when it's time to move, when the grid is no longer around, and first of all, this is how you know the grid is down. When there's no electricity and you go out, just go outside within the next 5 or 6 or 7 hours after there's no electricity. If you don't hear any emergency siren, it's not coming back. It's not. Once the grid go down, because I've read the report back in 2011, written by basically the book by Homeland Security. Emergency responders, they're not gonna be there. They're gonna be gone. They're gonna be too busy protecting their own family. That's what's gonna happen. So there's not gonna be any cops. None of that. You have to protect yourself. That's where we're at that point. Basically, Tiatuaki, the last days, whatever you want to call it. Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead. You know those series. What is the other one that with the vampire? You get what you know what I'm trying to say. I don't really watch those series, but every now and then I see the advertisement, so I kind of have an idea what they're all about. It's really the end times. Also, apart from your clothing, you're gonna need rope. All right, you're gonna need enough rope. And I said these are the stuff that you need in each of those bug out bag. Each person in your family, in your circle, that's going to be moving all together from where you're at to a safe location. Now, how do you pick a safe location? First of all, you need to go where there's not a lot of people or no people whatsoever. The best place, the woods. Find some place you can go where you're not going to see any cars, no traffic. It's just you, the animals, and the trees, and the breeze. That's it. These areas are going to be the safest place for you to go to when the grid is no longer there. The woods, the mountains, the forest, whatever you want to call it. The goal is get away from people. Get away. The worst place to be when there is a situation like that is around humans. And it's really Sad to say it like that, but it's the truth because they're going to be too busy fighting with each other and taking each other out rather than working together to for like a common cause because we're having humans can't do that anymore. It's not possible. It's sad. There are few who can do it, but majority of humans, I would say 85 to 90% of them, they can't do that. Humans are too self-centered, too egotistical. It's all about them. It's not. They're not going to be looking out for you. They're only going to be looking out for themselves. We're too selfish, folks. And I'm sorry to go there, but I have to. I have to be transparent with this message. By the way, I can't. I really have to. So you're going to need a military compass with a topographic map. Military compass is basically a compass that you really don't need any from a battery, and it worked off the Earth magnetic field. Remember, military compass. If you're moving together as a group, you really don't need multiple. One will be okay. Topographic map will be okay. One will be okay if you're moving together as a group. Topographic map is basically a military map. It show you where there's hills, slopes, all the slopes, the terrain. It give you a better description of your terrain. And also on your map, you got to have an X where you're going to start, which is your home, and another X where you're going to go. So all of this, you got to pre-plan it ahead of time. You have to do that before the grid go down. You got to also make the preparation and say to yourself, where do I need to go when this happened? So you start looking around your areas. Or if you need to get out of your city and go to another city, walk or ride a bicycle to another city, do what you have to do because at that point, it's life or death. To another area where there is no people, forests, trees, and so forth, that you can be more secure. You get it? You're going to also need a small pot to purify your water because you can boil water, strain it with a rag, and you can and cool it and drink it. And you're also going to need a small pot for cooking. So the small pot is basically purifying your water to get clean drinking water and also for cooking. You're also going to need a tarp in your bugout bag. Each person going to need a tarp. And a tarp is basically your bed. A tarp, you wrap yourself up in the tarp and go to sleep. When you're moving, it's probably going to take you a couple of days to get to your location. Maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, depends on how far you're going. Don't walk or ride your bicycle at daytime because that's where everyone is going to be out and about looking for trouble. And stay off the main road. You want to stay away from the main road. You want to basically, one of the best advice I've gotten from a former Air Force, who's the one who actually taught me about this, he said the best thing you could do is follow the power lines. You know those huge power lines? The really, really big ones in almost every city. They're normally those areas are, by law, they have to kept clean. Those along those power lines have to kept clean. So you can actually follow the huge power lines and go where you need to go. That's one of the best route you can possibly take. And I hope that helped. And if you're going to go to sleep, you sleep at daytime and you move during night. You have to be nocturnal. And you want to sleep at high grounds. Why I say high grounds is because when you're at high ground, you can see someone coming before they see you. So you're at the advantage when you're on a high ground when you're sleeping. Okay. Again, magnesium starter kit. You're going to need that in your bug out bag. That's basically something you can use to start a fire with for your cooking your food and also you're purifying your water. You're also going to need a bunch of canned foods. So put up some canned foods in your bag. Toothpaste, if you want to do that, toothbrush, hygiene stuff if you want to. And again, you're going to need bow and arrow. You can use a bow and arrow for protection. Also for hunting, food like rabbits, deers, and so forth, wild boar and stuff like that. And you also need to wear boots. You don't need to wear slipper sneakers. You need to wear outdoor boots in case of snakes and other things. This is the reason why you need to wear these stuff. All right. And you need to move in groups, 2 to 6 people. There's strength in numbers here, folks. Now, again, I said only move at night, and you got to move in a queue, meaning a line. You got to put, this is how you move, by the way. You put the oldest, are the ones who can't move as fast as you, at the front. The person, meaning the alpha in the group, need to be in the back. Has to be in the back, meaning he or she's not going to leave anyone behind. The ones who can barely move, the kids or whatever, need to be in front of them, and you got to stay 5 to 6 feet apart from each other. You can't walk in a group. Don't do that. You're going to leave yourself too vulnerable. You got to walk in a queue, a line, where the person at the back, the second person behind him, need to be 5 to 6 feet from him. Then the third person 5 to 6 feet from the second. You get what I'm trying to say to you? So you all have each other six. Now, the alpha, the strongest person, the fastest person, need to be in the back, so it's more easy for them to move around and see what's going on. They have a bigger spectrum of everything. You know who do this with animal? Do this animal group? The wolf, and it's such a smart strategy. So mimic how the wolf move. Look it up online, and you'll see. As I said, you need a book on edible plants. Edible plants is basically plants you can eat. You don't have to cook it. You just can literally, you can eat certain mushroom, you can eat dandelion, wild grapes. There's stuff out in the wild, meaning if there's no grocery store, you can get food. You can eat wild plants. They're edible. They won't get you sick. They won't get you, it won't kill you. Actually, they're actually better for you than actually these processed food. I'm just being honest. So get a book on that. You don't need to buy the book on your you don't need a digital book. You need a hard copy book of edible plants. I have one. Buy it. It's worth every penny. I paid $11 for the book on Amazon. It's one of the best purchases I've ever made. As I said, if you live in the city, you have 48 hours to leave. Once the grid go down after 48 hours, gloves are off. Okay? So after 48 hours, no electricity, come back, get your stuff, get your group, bug out. And get your bug out bag, of course. And again, as I stress, you want to sleep daytime, move at night. Wear gloves. Everyone in your group needs to wear gloves. Again, let everyone know your plans before you decide to execute it. Tell your kids, tell your wife, tell your friends, whoever is part of that group that you're willing to move with, and trust. Because at that point, you guys are going to be trusting each other with your lives, man. And you know, it's crazy to say like this, but you got, whoever you're picking in your group, you got to look at yourself and be like, do I trust this person with my life? You got to even ask your wife, that ask yourself that when it comes to your wife or your girlfriend, even your kids. I'm sorry to say it like that. I'm sorry to say it like that. But I know a lot of people out there would rather go move with moments like this, pick someone that they're not related to be part of their group rather than family. Because some family are like that. It's sad, but it's just reality. So you got to ask yourself this question. Do I trust my life with my spouse? Do I trust my life with my family? Do I trust my life with my kids? These are the questions you need to basically start asking yourself if you're going to make these plans. Pets, I leave that up to you, man. I can't say anything when it comes to pets. You know, me personally, I'll take my pet with me. But at the same time, the downside of having a pet like a dog is that he will give away your location. But as I said, I leave that up to you. Basically, you know, these are how you need to carry yourself. And it's not if you're going to use the bug out bag, it's a matter of when, because these times are coming. Now, the Federal Reserve, members of the Federal Reserve are actually warning people, letting people know that, you know, the U.S. is looking at an 18 months blackout. And they're in the report that I read that was written back in 2011 by Homeland Security, they said once the grid go down within 3 to 4 months, 80% of the population is going to be gone here in the U.S. They're projected to be gone because of the lack of food, lack of resources, and stuff like that, because we're not trained for these situations and we don't have the knowledge for edible plants. We just simply, everything is now instantaneous. We need something to eat, we go to the store, we go to the Walmart, we go to the food mini mart. You get my point. You do DoorDash, you go to the fast food place, and it's right there in your hand. So we're no longer are being educated and how to be self-sufficient and know the stuff that we can eat. because everything now is just click of a finger, it's in her hand. And that's not good. But anyway, folks, I did this video for y'all. I hope this information helps someone. I take pride in making these videos, and it's just to see the things that are happening right now. You can't really ignore it anymore. It is what it is. Stay blessed, and I hope this information help you.